and get started because we only have about 40 minutes whenever I run the meeting from my computer as opposed to the program that she has. So basically what we're going to do tonight is talk about Summit. For those of you who have been following our posts or checking into the team page, you've kind of seen what we've been doing with Summit. That is Beachbody's yearly conference, and it's a great place to network and kind of get some marketing ideas, how to interact with your teams, be a leader, motivation. It's just a really fun place to go and learn about being a Beachbody coach. And also they release a bunch of new programs. You probably saw the yoga retreat that will be a 21-day group going up on Beachbody On Demand, as well as a Fixate cooking show that is going to be going on demand as well, which is really cool. It uses the Fixate cooking book and has Autumn and her brother doing a show like you would see on the Food Network, but with the portion control containers and recipes that fit that. So it's going to be a really, really cool thing. And there's a bunch of other stuff coming up. So keep tracking the team page of all of those. I think those are the first things launching right now. And then 20s, which is like a reality TV show of looking for the newest super trainer. So those things have kind of gone up on demand either already or will be going up in the next few weeks to a month. But what we're going to kind of do tonight is everybody who was at Summit is going to take a few minutes to speak about what their biggest takeaway was from the time that they spent there. So who wants to start? Look, Mandy, you're unmuted. Why don't you start? Go ahead and go first on what your biggest takeaway was.
Okay. So I really don't have anything prepared for my takeaway just because I didn't take a lot of notes at Summit. I just kind of wanted to take it all in. So, and plus I was a little tired at the time. But anyway, I mainly really wanted to go to Summit this year because of just because my business has been slacking a lot lately, and it's just because I've been having a lot downsides of everything. So, but my biggest takeaway was that it helped me get motivated. It inspired me to, work. I definitely was working while I was there, and I haven't done that in like a couple weeks or so. It's kind of been flying by seeing my pants, and if someone messaged me that saying that they wanted to order something, I would help them out. So it definitely motivated me a lot. Sorry, I look like crap. I have like mascara all over my face. See that. But it helped me motivate me a lot. To get started in my business, and plus just being around other people and seeing everybody there. I would say the biggest takeaway that I had was definitely like Gary Vee. If you haven't started following him, I definitely would. I started following him. I know that he had a book, and I couldn't remember what the name was until someone said what it was. But I started following him. I watched a couple of his videos, and he's very inspirational. So that was nice seeing him talk and stuff. I just honestly, I took all the speakers in mainly a lot. There was times where I picked up my phone and was like, okay, but I definitely put down my phone a lot more this time than I did last time. So that was my biggest takeaway. And plus, just being around the team is so much nicer than, only seeing each other every now and then. Like we do Super Saturday here and there together, and we do the calls together. But it definitely helped motivate me more to work harder. And I can't wait to get back to my, pre-baby weight and have the baby and everything. And plus being around little Ben, I was very excited to see him. But if you decide that you're going to go, I would say definitely put down your phone sometimes and watch the speakers. I didn't do that last year. I was constantly working, and there was a lot of speakers that I really enjoyed. And sometimes you think you're listening to them, but you're really not when you're looking at the phone. So, that was my biggest takeaway from it all. Abby, go ahead.
Who wants to go next? I see Amanda and Brittany on here. Whoever wants to kind of go next. Brittany, go ahead.
So, like Mandy said, I agree with the whole phone thing. I was on my phone a good bit. I had 0 Success Club points on our way to Summit, so I went balls to the wall, excuse my language, to try to hit Success Club while I was there, and I did within 36 hours. I hit 6. I got Success Club 6 in 36 hours. And I credit that a lot to Summit. I mean, when you're there, you're super motivated. You're super determined to succeed. And the fire and passion that it gives you is really indescribable for the most part. So the topic that I wanted to share that I thought would be the most helpful was building a solid foundation. I took a lot of notes on that, so I'm just going to kind of touch base with what I wrote down. They said, believe in yourself and believe that it is possible. That's what a lot of people struggle with in this business, which is why it doesn't work. People don't believe in themselves. They don't think that they can succeed, so they just flat out don't. They also talked about failure and how failure is inevitable. You always go through failure to get to success, always. No matter what you do, you hit roadblocks, you hit points where you're like, I can't do this anymore. But if you overcoming those roadblocks is what in the end makes you the most successful. They actually said that you will encounter failure, embrace it, because it will make you want to move forward. And I think that that's 100% true. They also said that to build a solid foundation, you need to cast a vision of where you want to go, but recognize and own where you are now, which is also important because it's important to look toward the future, but to get to the future, you have to focus on the present. And so you just need to take it one day at a time. Set those big goals, definitely. I'm not saying that. But set your goals, set your daily goals in addition to your yearly goals, so that when you reach a goal, like hitting Success Club or signing a coach or something like that, you're motivated, you're inspired because you reached that goal. Whereas if I say, oh, in 3 months I want to be 1-star diamond, well, that's great. I'm going to work my butt off to try to get to that. But I don't see the immediate reward, which is what people want. So if you set little goals in addition to those big goals, you'll be a lot more successful. They also stressed huge emphasis on focusing on yourself. We've said it 100 times, I'm sure, in this call, or it's like my life motto. People don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. And they have 100% stressed that at Summit. You need to focus on who you really are, because that's what people want. People want to connect with you because of your personal story and what you have to offer them. They don't want to connect with you because of the color-coded meal portions or something like that. They want to connect with you because of the struggles that you had, or what you are currently going through, or what you overcome because of the programs. People even brought up the point of the market being saturated, and their response to that was 226 million people are still obese, and not everyone has heard your story. If every single person in the world has heard your story, then we can say that the market is saturated. But until then, there's no possible way that that will happen. And that really hit home with me because a lot of us on this call actually are from the same town. And we're making it work. 4 of us that were at Summit are from the same county. And when I say county, I'm talking like middle of nowhere county. So it's not like it's some big, huge area. And we're all successful. We all hit Success Club. We're all growing our business. You just have to go out there and do it. And just because I don't sign someone up as a coach doesn't mean that, say, Amanda or Andrea or Mandy, they might just connect with them on a different level. Just because they don't like me doesn't mean that they're not going to like someone else. So you have to go out there. You have to reach out to people, and you have to connect with them, regardless of if you live in a small town or you live in the biggest city in the world. So those are really the takeaways that I had for you. One thing that I challenge you all to do is to identify your 2 biggest fears and share them with your upline coach. Share your biggest fears with your upline coach, speak those out, and talk with them about ways to overcome those. Because if we overcome fears, that's how we succeed. And so that's what I want each of you to do. And then I also wanted to leave you with a quote. They said when we were at Summit that the 2 most important days of your life are the day that you're born and the day that you decide, or the day that you figure out why. So the 2 most important days in your life are the day that you were born and the day that you figure out why. That was like the aha moment for me. All of those days in Summit, no sleep, trainings, when I heard that, that was the one thing that I was like, wow, like this is real. This is awesome. So just remember that when you're down or you don't think this business is for you, remember your why and remember that you're here. You started this journey to help people, so go out there and do it. Contact your upline sponsor, tell them your fears, and let's do it, because there is so much passion right now in this team that we are going to be super successful. You just have to put your heart and mind to it. Build yourselves up, build a solid foundation, accept failure, and go for it. That's all.
Awesome, Brittany. Thank you. And thank you, Mandy, too. I kind of popped in without saying thanks. Those are both like really great takeaways and definitely something to think about being there and how to continue on forward following that too. So that was really awesome. All right, Amanda, you want to go ahead and share with us?
I'm going to share my takeaway from the seminar on how to coach your challengers for long-term success, because I'm really not too good at running challenge groups. So I found a lot of these tips to be very helpful. Obviously, part of our job is to be a cheerleader and a coach to these people. They are really depending on us to help them get their lives on track. So you really need to establish expectations to keep everyone moving towards their goals and to keep things in order in your group. They need a little bit of guidance. So you need to establish with your challengers what type of communication works best for them. I hate being called on the phone. Do not call me. I will not listen to your voicemail. So just don't bother. So text me, email me, do whatever. But some people like that voice-to-voice conversation, or even like a video chat like we're doing now. Some people just connect better on that level. So it's important to establish that with our challengers and figure out what works best for them. And also, whenever they fall off the wagon, we need to be asking them up front, hey, if you happen to fall off, what do you need from me? Do you need a gentle nudge, or do you really need like tough love, a kick in the butt? Because everyone is different. If you would be aggressive with me, I would probably go home and cry like, oh my God, she hates me. Like, just a gentle reminder is what I need, but other people need more than that. They need help with everything. Some of them, it's like their first time doing things with weight loss, anything like that. Help them with their meal prep and planning. They have these wonderful little portion controlled containers. That's great. What do they do with them? Give them an example of a meal that's plated with the containers beside of it and show them what it came from. Like a picture or a graphic will help them a lot with that. A lot of people have never taken measurements before. It's something I didn't really think about. But they shared a link. There's a YouTube video on, if you just YouTube Beachbody measurements, you can post that link in your group and it takes away that mystery of, oh, am I measuring in the right places, or am I doing this correct or not? Build belief in them. Make sure when you're doing your check-in posts that you're really checking in from the heart and really responding from the heart. You're not just liking it, because these people's lives matter. You know, they are trusting you, and you really want to make sure that you're being encouraging with them. Another big takeaway that I had never ever thought of was encouraging interaction between your challengers. Tag success buddies in your group, or even put up in your initial posts when they're introducing themselves if they would like a success buddy, and what areas they struggle in to help each other out with. And you can do like mini challenges through your group, and one of those would be a shout out Saturday, and have people tag each other in statuses to shout out what they've noticed good. So, hey, Abby, I saw you were up all night with the baby on Tuesday, but you still got your workout in on Wednesday. Great job. Just like giving them encouragement and shouting out for each other. And then also tying in that on your personal page or your leg page, if you have one, pick a rock star every Friday in your challenge group and post that on your live, or not your live feed, but your main page, and show everybody else in the world that these people are doing great things in your group and making efforts and trying really hard. The other thing that they were talking about too was sharing. We all share Shakeology, but sometimes we don't think about sharing the performance line, why it's important to use them, when to use them, share our personal stories with them. You can even do little mini challenges, and they can win samples of the performance line. You can get like packs of 10 of the Hydrate and the Energize for pretty cheap, and you can give that away as a prize one day. I know we do a lot in the clean eating challenges, we give away Shakeology, but I've never ever thought to give away something from the performance line. And then another big takeaway for me was to do the what's next. I usually do my what's next in a personal message. Like they can either continue doing your groups, they can go on and be a coach with you, et cetera, et cetera. But they said to do that in a video in your group, and then end it with a question. Always end with a question so that gives somebody the chance to respond back to you. The other, like, just two things that really hit with me was during a low time in your business. Like, we don't always have great success all the time. Sometimes we go through slumps. And during the low times, take a step back and evaluate what you're not doing now that you were doing when you were successful. And a lot of times you'll find like the missing links, and it'll help get that all back together. And also, like, we look up to a lot of people. We follow a lot of the top coaches. We look up to different members of our team. But the most important thing is to always be you. You can get ideas from your team and from your role models, but never try to imitate them. Always put your special thing. I think that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. The challenges were a huge, huge, huge takeaway for me too. I can totally relate to Amanda. I went up and got my book after this because I'm like, oh, I got to find something else to share about, because that's kind of what I was going to go on, but I have something else I'll share on too. But yeah, our challengers, that's why we're here. We want them to have success. I am feeling so driven for this right now. And I guess I've always wanted to help people, and I've always wanted to, it's always been my goal since I've been a coach to help people and get them in these groups. And I feel like a lot of the time I want to be nice and I want to help them, and I'm not holding them accountable. Like the whole reason they're in these groups is for someone to hold them accountable. And I'm constantly saying like, oh, you'll do better next time. They need us to help them, to push them, to hold them to a higher standard so that they can push through these. And one thing I really got from this was helping them find out why they want it, like making them attach what they want to a purpose. So your challengers, they want to lose 10 pounds. They want to eat healthy. Why? Why do they want to do that? If we don't know why or what's driving them to do that, it's really hard to help them reach those goals. So a great way to do this in your challenges, seems to be working well. We did this when we got back, was we posted a video of asking to win a prize for them to make a video and share their why. Why are you doing it? What's driving you forward? What's going to get you through those vacations and those weekends and those busy days? And if we know that and we write it down when they start to have a bad time or a bad night, and like Amanda said, knowing when they don't check in, holding them accountable, well, how was your night? And I don't know if everyone's kind of like this, but for my 5-day groups, I tag everyone that doesn't check in for the night because they're expected to do that to remain in the group. But my 21-day groups, I don't do that. And those are the people that want the success from these programs and that are investing in it. So taking that extra time to really help them get there and digging deep in them to find out why they want that. So great job, Amanda, with those. I think you touched on pretty much everything else there that I was going to too. So I'm glad that you had a good takeaway from that as well. So the other thing I'll touch on real fast, since I have a little bit more time here. I see Andrea's hopped on. But just the importance of your social media posting. And I think Andrea's going to post on or touch base on this whenever she talks about Gary Gary V and kind of doing that. But that was a huge takeaway with me from Summit for me too, was, posting to reach people, posting, like sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly, and getting vulnerable and really reaching out to build those bonds with people, and posting from the heart, like not just posting to throw a post up there. If you're just throwing a post up there, it's not really effective, and it's not doing what you want it to do. So really thinking and putting effort into your posts. And, I think I said this for those of you who are in the Team Cup, like when you're connecting with people via Messenger and just checking in on them and saying hi, your newsfeed is popping up on theirs now. Like you've built that connection. So they're going to see, especially that time right after you do those messages, they're going to see what you're posting. And if you're not showing up, if you're not consistent in your posts, people aren't going to know what you're doing or want to really trust you. And I know it sounds kind of silly, and that kind of goes with your challenge groups too. But if you're not there, if you're posting every day for 5 days, and then you go away for a week or even a couple of days, they're like, oh, well, maybe she's not doing this. Is she, it's important to have that consistency, and even more so in your challenge groups than, even using a scheduler to make sure that at 6:00 in the morning every day you are posting something, you're there for people to see. You don't necessarily have to be there right then, but be consistent, and then make sure you're giving the time and effort to them when you are there. And the same with the people that are commenting on your posts. Like instead of just liking everything, like reach out to them, talk to them, make that connection with them if they ask a question, or engage them, because that's building the connections too, and showing that you're present on your page and you're reading what they write. And, anyone can go through and like everything that they see, but actually engaging and talking with them, I think is really important. And people will see that and feel that by looking at your posts. So definitely the Facebook presence or whatever social media platform that you use is really important too. So I think then it's Andrea's turn. Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys, so tonight has not gone as I had planned. My husband and I went, can you hear me okay? First of all, okay. We went to the Garrett County Fair, which is actually where we started dating 13 years ago. So, all great love stories begin at the county fair. And we had a great night. It was really fun, left in plenty of time to get home. And he was a good bit ahead of me. And all of a sudden I started noticing my tire gauge, my tire pressure sensor and the back one just moved, like going down really fast. And I was like, oh no. So I called him. He'd already gone on the interstate. So he had to wait until he got to the next exit and turn around and come back. Sure enough, my tire was just leaking air. You could hear it as soon as I got out of the car. So I had a big time flat tire, and was not able to, I'm not going to change out myself, let's be honest. So I waited, and I had to wait for him to fix it. And so I just got home. So I apologize for being late. I'm glad I still made it on. I wanted to talk about Gary Vaynerchuk basically rocked my socks off. There was a lot of things about Summit that I loved. I love the time with the team. I love the spirit of it. And I know that that's probably what they all have already shared with you. But for me, at my level and as a leader, he really spoke to me. And I will be honest with you, I didn't really care much for him before this trip. he's the author of the book Jab, 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 Right Hook, which if you have not read is a hard read. Ask Abby. We tell each other that all the time. But it's very, very good book in terms of how to post on social media, how to get your voice heard in a very noisy world on social media. And I believe I actually have 2 copies. So if anybody is interested in that book, we can kind of do a communal, mail it around thing. Once you finish, send it on to a new coach, because I actually have 2 copies. But regardless, I don't really follow him much. I knew who he was, didn't really follow him. He's very in your face. He has kind of a potty mouth. And for me, like, that's just not something, like, I tend to relate more to, uplifting personal development. And so that has kind of been, he's kind of been a struggle for me in the past. But, so I wasn't like super excited that he was going to be there. I mean, he's a big speaker. So, I mean, that was cool, but I didn't really expect to take as much away from him as I did. And I'm going to read this to you. And this is kind of like me getting a little bit in your face here. And I don't ever do that. So, Crystal, this is your first time getting on the call. Don't think that I'm like always, putting these things out here, but this is what he said that kind of like knocked my socks off. I have a graphic I'm going to share later, but it says, the disproportionate reason why most of you will not win is not because of a lack of hard work. It is because of a lack of patience. Everything is figure outable. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean you can't do it. Reverse. Do it, and then you'll know it. These are like some of the highlights of the quotes that he said at the conference. Then he said, 95% of Beachbody coaches don't work hard enough, and they're whiners according to their social media profiles. Before leading up to Summit, he had been following, I think he said about 50 coaches that he had been following on social media. I have no idea who they are. Hopefully he wasn't following me. But the point is that he was following these coaches on social media to get an idea of the culture, to see who he's coming to speak to get an idea. And he stated that basically we're just not working hard enough, that we're doing a lot of selling, but not a lot of connecting and not a lot of doing the things that are really going to inspire people and really drive our businesses forward. So he just basically said that, 95% of them don't work hard enough. And you don't know how to do something? Here is the secret. GOOGLE. Google it. So those are like 4, I love those 4 quotes. But what I want to talk about tonight is kind of the first one, how he says the disproportionate reason why most of you will not win is not because of a lack of hard work. It is because of a lack of patience. And then the one about the fact that we're just not working hard enough. Those are kind of the 2 things that I want to focus on. Everything that he said hit me. Like literally everything that he was saying. You can ask Abby. She was sitting beside me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it really, really resonated with me. But the patience is a big one. So many people come into this business, and it's like they honestly expect it to just fall into their laps. It's like they expect that people, customers, clients, people are just going to run to them and flock to them, and it's going to be easy. Especially because sometimes I think we get so pumped up and so fired up about our own results and how great we feel. We can't possibly imagine that somebody else wouldn't feel the same way. But that's not the way that it works. And this business, just like anything else worth having, is work. You have to work at this. And so few people actually want to get in and do what they need to do daily and have the patience to stick with it, to hang in there. Gary talked about how he's in wine, and he helped grow his father's business, from I think $3 million a year to like $60 million a year. And that's where he started. But he had to be patient. He had to take his time, analyze the market out there, learn his craft. It took time. And so few people want to do that. And it is 100% true. I still feel like I'm a baby in this business, and I'm 2.5, almost 3 years in. And I still feel like I'm a baby. I still feel like I'm learning. It's not easy for me to hit my goals every single month. I still have to do the basic vital behaviors every single month. It takes time. It's not as hard as it was in the beginning, people know that I'm serious about this, that I'm not going to go away. But what happens is most coaches don't have the patience to hang in there long enough to get to that point. So you're just like, goodness, got a choking baby here. Hold on just a second. Most coaches don't get to that point where they ever stick it out long enough that people know that they're going to be in it for the long haul. It's not just something that you're posting about for a month or 2 months. It's something that is your lifestyle, and people don't want to see that through. They don't want to put out the effort because they're not seeing those instant results. They're not getting that immediate gratification. And I get it, because that's what we want in our society nowadays, but it doesn't work like that. It takes time. People have to see what you're doing. They have to see you consistently doing it. And I'm not talking about a day or a week or a month. I'm talking about month after month after month. And then it will start to pick up for you. And it will continue to do that. It will continue to move forward, but it takes time, and that patience is so key. And, when he said that, it's a lack of patience. It is 100% true. The other side of it was saying that we're just not working hard enough. Everybody has their own goals. I have my own goals. Abby has her own goals. Brittany has her goals. We all have our own goals, and we're all motivated by different things. I've been able to do extraordinary things so far for myself in this business. Nothing compared to what some of these coaches have done. And then, in some ways, a lot more than many coaches have that many coaches ever do. I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of the accomplishments that we've earned in these last 2.5 years. And I'm proud of the work that I've been able to do, but I'm not working hard enough. It's the truth. I'm not working smart enough. I'm not working focused enough. I'm not making it a priority in the right ways. I'm not being the CEO of my own company, which is something I'm going to talk about in just a second if I don't run out of time. But I'm not working hard enough to say I have these big goals, but then to look at my daily life. It's jumbled, it's disorganized, and it is what it is, but I know that I could do better. I know that I could work harder. So that's kind of my challenge to you is, he kind of knocked me on my socks, because the fact of the matter is, when I say that I, want these big things, like being a lead again, has been a big scare for me to put it out there, because it's a little slower of a year for me. We're still moving forward, but just not quite as fast as last year. And elite is basically earned by how much you grow your business from the year prior. So it's not easy to repeat it. It's hard to repeat it. The fact that there are seven-time elite coaches and 4 and 5-time elite coaches, that's extraordinary. That is a lot of hard work, y'all. Is no joke. So I haven't really, I've been kind of scared to put it out there. But to say that I want to be an elite coach again, and looking at my daily to do every single day, I'm not working hard enough. And I dare say that many of us aren't either. We aren't giving it what we absolutely could to build the business that we want. We're not giving it the focused attention. We're not making it non-negotiable. We're not making our workouts non-negotiable. So this isn't one of those, I'm trying to get in your face posts. I just want you to take a look at your business and where you are and what you want and what you say you want to do with it. And are you working hard enough to achieve it? Could you do more? I think, I dare say that we all could. And that we all probably need to. People need our help. They need the solution that we have. We have the complete solution. You all know that. If you're on this call, you're a believer. But are you working hard enough? The last part I want to point on is, when I say, are you working hard enough, what are you doing in that time? I will be honest. I see a lot of people with so much potential who, maybe spend a good bit of time on Facebook, sharing other people's posts, and perhaps they're extremely relevant and perhaps they're extremely moving. But instead of taking that time, I'm not saying it's not good to follow other people. You should do that as well. But instead of following other people and constantly sharing their content and getting lost in the newsfeed, because I know how long that takes, you could be doing your own power hour. You could be inviting people to your challenge group. You could be connecting with 3 to 5 people and starting those messages, sending a happy birthday message, sending a message when you notice somebody, shared something that was really moving to you, commenting on people's posts, engaging with people on social media. That is what is going to get that affinity going. Okay, let me give you an example. Crystal's on the call tonight. Crystal and I went to high school together. She liked a post of mine that I posted about a challenge group, and I sent her a message asking her how she's doing. She's now a coach. She's rocked my last 2 challenge groups, and I have not talked to her since high school. Okay, that's called Facebook affinity right there. So my point is, what are you doing with that time? Are you getting lost in the news feed and kind of sitting and watching what everyone else is doing and comparing yourself to them, or, possibly taking inspiration from that? But there's a place for that, but make sure you're also creating your own content and being original and being the CEO of your own business. Take accountability for what you're doing, because let me tell you, I so often hear, I just don't have time for this, or I didn't have time to get my, see, Ben's like getting fired up too. I so often hear that, people say that they don't have time to do this business, but then I know how long it can take to get lost in that news feed. Stay in your lane, get tunnel vision on, get blinders on. Don't worry so much about what everyone else is doing, and start taking those little steps every single day to move yourself forward with your business. That is what it means to work harder. That is what it means to work smarter. So like I said, I just want to make sure that you are doing those business building behaviors during that time, because I want you guys to experience maximum growth. And the only way to do that is to really just dig deep and get your blinders on and focus and do the things that are not fun, they're not sexy, they're not like easy, they're tough. It's tough to get out there and get involved with people and get into their mess, because we all have a mess, but we want to help them turn it into their message. Okay, so we want to empower people, and the only way to do that is start up those conversations and invite people to your groups. And that means you have to be running a challenge group every single month, non-negotiable. You've got to do those things. You've got to do that personal development to hone your craft and to grow your skill. And instead of kind of getting lost in the newsfeed and seeing what all of the other coaches are doing or what everyone else is doing on social media, do your own thing. Stay in your own lane. So we only have a little bit over a minute left. I'm sorry for the, kind of crazy call, but does anybody have anything that they'd like to, finish up with? I could talk forever about everything that I learned. And we'll continue to share, and we're going to go live, and we're going to, share more things coming. But this was kind of just a way for us to share a little bit about the experience, and more will be coming. But it was amazing, and I'm so proud of those that made the effort to go, because it is an extraordinary experience. And I'm so proud that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 6 people on this call right now I know have tickets for next year. So, and Jamie was on earlier, and she's a success starter, and she earned hers. So she'll be there too. So if anybody has anything that you want to close, we have less than a minute. I don't want us to get cut off. Abby, go ahead and unmute yourself. Thank you so much for being willing to throw the call together tonight, since I couldn't be home. And I didn't want to do it from my phone because I can't record, and I didn't know how long the tire situation was going to last. So thank you so much for always being willing to help out. Thank you guys for getting on the call. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Stay in your lane. Go out there and let's help people. Have a good night, y'all.